perpetrate, and stay on suckers who perpetrate, and stay on suckers who stay on suckers who stay on suckers who suckers who stay on 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 suckers who perpetrate and
I would say I've been DJing for, I'd say probably about, probably in 20 odd something, going on 20 something years, maybe 25 years. That's properly DJing and stuff. But yeah, started quite young, scratching on my mum's hi-fi, and you know, it kind of built from there. You know, got my first set of decks when I was about 16, 17, and then yeah, just a lot of practicing in my early teens, and then I think when I got to about 19, 18, 19, started getting my first gigs and stuff, so yeah. Well, started off on vinyl. You know, my brother was the person that brought all the music into the home, you know, from when I was really, really young, and so he was the guy that really sort of got me to understand, you know, how music structures and everything. So it was all vinyl. So just really started on vinyl, and then as you know, as we moved into the digital era, once Serato had come out, Serato sort of was the most was the closest thing I'd say to what I was already doing with vinyl. You had the vinyl coded disc, which allows you to, you know, scratch and manipulate the MP3. And you know, for me, once I'd seen that, I thought, right, okay, yeah, maybe I can come off vinyl now, and you know, yeah. So I'm on Serato now. It's weird. I don't know which one I prefer. I think when I'm practicing at home, I'm practicing on vinyl and practicing my scratching, especially when I'm, you know, the really intricate scratching. You tend to go through your records and practice on vinyl. But I do have to practice on Serato as well, because so yeah, I think I prefer to scratch on vinyl, but saying that, you know, going to DJ in a club and just having a laptop, the Serato box, and 2 vinyl coded discs and a couple of phono cables is absolutely bliss. Well, I've DJ'd, I've been quite fortunate to have DJ'd. A first flight abroad was in Germany, and then I did Spain, and then the Dubai thing started to kick in. So I've DJ'd, I think some of my favourite spots, that was a question, wasn't it? Some of my favourite spots, wasn't it? Yeah. Some of my favourite spots are abroad, but I had a resident night that I was doing at Gatecrasher in Nottingham before it closed down, with a DJ called Will Santero, and we was doing a 4 decks set. It was a weekly student night every Thursday, and he had 2 decks in the mixer and I had 2 decks in the mixer, and we scratched between hip hop and modern hip hop as well, and a bit of like dubstep, drum and bass. DJing has changed a lot, and I would say the greatest change is the digital thing. I think it's quite easy for you to get into DJing now, as opposed to before. It's quite difficult. You know, you had to buy records. You used to have to buy 1210s. They weren't cheap. You know, you had to buy a mixer and speakers. So it's changed. And you've got SoundCloud as well now, that helps DJs to get out there a lot easier, especially now you can buy hits and buy, you know, you can buy plays and buy hits and stuff, so it's crazy. So yeah, it's changed. Some DJs would say not for the better, and some would say for the better. I think it's great that young DJs can buy a setup for quite cheap now and get started and get out there with this, you know, with social media and you know, all these sites that allow you to upload your mixes. I think that's brilliant. You know, I think the only negative change would be that it's stopping DJs from being, you know, authentic and learning the old way of mixing and DJing. There's a lot of sync apps and sync buttons that you can click on the software programs that you use now. So a lot of DJs are using that to help them through their set, whereas before you definitely have to learn how to mix, DJ and scratch, and, you know, put your set together, you know, practice it as well, sort of things. I'm sort of on the fence. I think it's for the worse if you think about the technical side of DJing, and there are DJs today with the digital side of DJing that are good, are quite technical with the effects and stuff. So it's hard for me to sort of to fight one side of the argument. I'm right on the fence with it, which is quite odd for me being old school, because you'd expect me to be like, oh yeah, all these new DJs and, you know, digital stuff, rubbish, you know. But I think the effects thing is brilliant, you know, the way that they use the effects with house music and loops and, you know, delays and filters and stuff, whereas we didn't have that back in the day. So I'm gonna have to sit on the fence. I think I really appreciate the digital thing. Again, you know, with me using Serato, you know, I can mix a lot quicker and mix more tracks into like a short space of time. But then you know, obviously the craft of scratch DJing and the technical side of it with vinyl, you know, it's something that's, you know, can never be surpassed, you know. So it's I'm on the fence. Crowds have changed for the worst. Yeah. It's. I've had this conversation with Jamal like on multiple occasions. You know, and Jamal comes out with me when I'm DJing on you know, on most of my nights. So he sees the frustration in my face when I'm battling with the crowd. You know, the change is for the worst, because the reason I say that is because, you know, in my early years of DJing, and I mean, we don't have to go that far back really. We could probably go back to sort of early 2000, late 90s, early 2000. There was a time where, you know, a track that was new would sustain on the dance floor for a long time. So tracks weren't so disposable. Do you know what I mean? A track would come out and it'd hit the dance floor and it would stick on the dance floor for a longer period of time. And also the crowds back then, and prior to that as well, you know, 90s and 80s, they would want to go to a night and hear a DJ play new tracks, and that would be what they'd go away and remember. Whereas now, you know, with the sort of digital world and the labels controlling everything, you know, they insert the top 20 and a playlist, and that's what you've got to play. Otherwise, your dance floor is dead and your room's empty. So they very robotically come into a club and expect to hear certain tracks rather than come to a club and and allow the DJ to take them on a journey. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say that's what the problem is now, and I'd say it's for the worse, really. You know, yeah, it's kind of affected the flow of a nightclub. You know, I mean, like, you know, people would quite freely, they'd quite freely flow around the clubs and be happy to be educated by each DJ in each room. But now, you know, if a DJ's not playing these top 20 tracks or top 40, top 50 tracks, you know, I'd say it's affecting the club, because, you know, people will not stay in a room, they'll come out of a room. So it affects the bar take as well. You know, it has a ripple effect. You know, if the DJ's trying to experiment, then his room's empty. If he's sticking to the playlist, then the bar takes off. And that's kind of, unfortunately, that's how major clubs, chains of nightclubs, that's how they rate their DJs, on how the bar take is in their room, as opposed to how good their music is, you know. So a lot of people are clubbing because drinks are ridiculously cheap, right? They can get hammered, can't they? I've been spat at by a crazy drunk girl who I have no idea what was. I swear she must have been on something, but yeah, some different form of class A. But she a girl flopped on me, and then and I've had some crazy experiences. You know, drink going flying and getting covered in drink. You know, fights breaking out and stuff, and the DJ equipment sort of getting in the way of the fight and stuff. So yeah. But I'd say the worst one was being spattered. It wasn't because of my music being that bad. It's because she was just crazy.
All suckers who who perpetrate and hate on suckers who perpetrate and hate on suckers who 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 perpetrate and